Hello and welcome to another spectacular thing. Have you ever sat down to work on a project and you can't remember if it's npm run build or npm run compile, or maybe it's a build.shell script that you wrote and you just can't remember what it is? Well, today we're going to look at that and we're going to find a few ways that we can solve this problem. So sit back and relax and yeah, let's solve this problem. So this is the app that we're going to work with today. It's a simple site status that hits GitHub, Google, my Git on Kubernetes, and my main website, just to make sure that they're up. We're not here to build a new app. We're here to build the automation around one. So this is our final just file and make file. Make file on the left and just file on the right. We're not going to explain this just yet. We're going to get here in 3 steps, but let's start at the beginning. So what is the problem that we're trying to solve? Well, there's a lot of confusing commands that need to be entered in a correct sequence in order to compile and build and run your web applications. For example, npm install and then npx tsc and then port 3000 equals or port equals 3000 node dist/server.ts. No, it's not ts, it's js. You know, all of those kinds of commands. Then you have the ancillary commands like ESLint and testing and cleaning up after your builds that you just need to remember all of the different attributes and the commands that need to be run in the correct order. Well, this is really complicated, so let's look at a better way. So we're going to start by creating some shell scripts. These shell scripts are fairly straightforward and just do one thing and do one thing well, which is remember for you the command that you need for install or for build without you needed to remember is it npm or npx. So then if I run this install script, it'll go ahead and do npm install for me. And if I do the build script, it will build the application with npx tsc. Just easy. We only have to remember 2 commands. Same thing with start. Start, we don't have to remember the port number, but we can pass it in as a variable. And of course, there's the lint and test. Makes it very easy to remember the commands. There's still a problem with this. You need to remember that you need to install first, then build, then run or start the application. And then when do you do testing and when do you do linting? It's all kind of confusing, and there's still some confusion in how to do this with scripts. Make was designed as a build system for C code in the 70s, but its core idea, targets plus dependencies, make it surprisingly great for task automation. Targets are the name of the task on the left, such as build, test, etc., and the dependencies are on the right-hand side of the colon, so test colon install means run install first. PHONY tells make that these aren't real files. This is an important gotcha for beginners. There is one fairly major gotcha on this that's haunted developers for decades, and that is tabs versus spaces. For make files, you have to use tabs. There usually isn't anything else to install. You just say make all, and install, test, and build get run. But you still run into the problem where you just don't know all the commands and you can't just type make to get a list of commands. So like if I say make deploy, is it make deploy? Sure, why not? Make deploy, you see that it's no rule to make target deploy. Because of this, I find myself batting or catting the make file just so that I can see what all of the targets are. The code in here could get pretty gnarly and long, so it's not going to be as clean as this. That's why I use scripts in the make file, just to make it a little bit more clean. Enter just. Just is the ergonomic purpose-built task runner that solves Make's pain points. It's a command runner, not a build system. It's designed specifically for what we're doing with make. It reads a just file, which has similar syntax to makefile, but is cleaner and more intuitive. You don't have the tabs versus space problem. It's also written in Rust. It's a single binary and it's cross-platform. Again, let's look at the highlights here. No tabs versus spaces landmine. Just use consistent indentation. Just list gives you a built-in command menu. Great for discoverability. Parameters with defaults. So just deploy production would deploy to production. You wouldn't have to put in the production part. You could just say just deploy. No PHONY needed. Just assumes all recipes are tasks, not files. And it's cross-platform. It works on Windows without WSL weirdness. These tools by no means are mutually exclusive. And that means that you can reach for whatever tool makes sense in the situation. And the best setups layer these tools. So quick one-off task, maximum portability, you want scripts. Compiled project with incremental build artifacts, you want make. And developer workflow, you want just. CI/CD pipelines, script, just. Team project where discoverability matters, that's just. Already in a make ecosystem, then continue using make. And cross-platform team, Linux, Mac, and Windows, just use just. Don't over-engineer. A simple project might just need a couple of scripts. And just is the most batteries included for developer ergonomics in 2026. So what do you think? First, we started with a bunch of tasks that didn't really make sense together. Was it NPM or TSC, or was it NPX or whatever? And then we switched to shell scripts, which made it a little bit more cohesive, where we could just look in our shell script into our scripts folder and see what files we needed to run. Then we went to a make file, and make files are good, except that they're designed for something completely different. They're designed for compiling C programs. Then we switched to just, and just is the modern way of handling this. You can just type just and it'll show all of the commands that are available, along with your comments, so that you know exactly what each one does. And then you can run your scripts, and everything is great. You can do this in CI/CD pipelines. You can do this in your normal day-to-day builds, and you can just get through it. So tell me what you think. Sound off down in the comments. Leave a like while you're down there, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.